Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while. I think where I left off was maybe work on an MX-5. I haven't really touched an MX-5. One of the many. I haven't touched an MX-5 in a while because I've been trying to get this thing done. As you're going to see by the title of the video, I've got, I think, 2 weeks to get all the mechanical stuff done on the car so it can then go and get wiring done, so it can hopefully go to Auto Alex's car show at the end of May. We've made a list of everything we need to do before it can actually go to get like wiring and tuning, so let's have a quick look at that.
We're getting all the wiring, and we've got sear brackets, because that's a sear, and we have exhaust.
What does that say?
Hangers? Seat brackets.
Seat bracket,
yeah. Exhaust hangers, I'm going to hang myself. Fuel injectors, oil packs, fuel pumps, door cards, turbo intakes. Basically the list goes on, and we have it all to do in about 2 weeks.
Recirc valve, gearbox, bolt check because it's definitely missing some of the bolts. Just like your old Mini, but I guess that thing worked
that
for a
was
while.
Fine. Definitely not still where it's wrong.
Gearbox oil, diff oil, rear brake pads, bleed the brakes, bleed the clutch, and then bolt check. And then
off to Jake's for all wiring.
And then meow. Okay, what job we decided to do first?
Figure out what the fuck is happening under this car. Essentially, we're trying to figure out where the anti-roll bar goes, because we thought, well, I thought it'd be a nice easy job. Jamie said it would take half an hour, and as you know, as you say that, it will never be half an hour now.
I actually said half an hour for one of us to do the front, one of us to do the rear.
Well, great, excellent. And I actually have no clue where it actually goes, so yay.
Should we get out of the bag? Maybe that'll help.
I'm not sure it will, but we'll go for it.
Okay, so if I've labelled this up right, this is the rear. I would like to say this video was sponsored by White Line, but it wasn't. And also, what is that? How have I got damage on it? It's brand new. I mean, it definitely hasn't been sat in a bag for like 3 years. It's then been moved from like one workshop to another, and then hung on the wall, and then dropped on the floor. But that's definitely their fault. Oh, it's so disappointing.
We've put it on a nice padded mat.
Yeah. Anyway, look, this is going to be piece of piss. We've got, it's just one bar and like a handful of things.
Can you tell me where it goes?
Yeah, under the car.
That is the big issue right now.
Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap my fingers and it's going to be fitted.
Right, I'm under there and he's going, oh no, it's fine, it's easy, there's no problems at all. So I have left him to that one whilst I'm going to get started on the front one, because I don't think it's as easy as a 30-minute job. The time is currently 11:30. We'll see at 12 and see where we're at. I'm missing something already.
I'm doing the rear, Harvey's doing the front. I'm definitely missing the bracket to basically hold that onto the chassis, but we're going to get the anti-roll bar connected as best we can, and probably just use some cable ties for the minute just so I can kind of get it in place so I can order the bits I need. We started this at 11:30. It will be done by 12 o'clock, so we will see you then, because watching us install anti-roll bars is not going to be very exciting.
So the time is 12:03. As you can see, Jamie is just fitting the last bolt on that anti-roll bar. I don't know if we can see it fitted. Under there. Wow. It's fitted. Yes, structural cable tie, because he has left some integral pieces out that we don't have. Ooh, nearly fell over there. And I have also managed to do the front by shock horror. We have the front on. It's still loose because the bushings and the mounts for those bushings we don't have for front or rear. So we're gonna have to find those, and then hopefully we can get those properly bolted up, but they're in position, all done before, well, 3 minutes past 12. I think it's not bad going. So yeah, it did. Shocker.
Okay, so to try and speed up the process a little bit, I'm going to make a start on removing everything around the timing belt. There's not loads of room there, so not really any reason for two of us to be doing it. And Harvey is going to make a start on the wiring for the front door speakers. I have made a bracket to hold the driver side door speaker. I need to finish the one for the passenger side, and then at least once that's done, the door cards can go back on, which will kind of clear some room and also make a big difference how the car is looking. Right, so I've just got the front cover plate off and the lower crank pulley, and I've noticed a slight issue with my timing belt. That was a brand new timing belt that I fitted. The car hasn't even run. I don't really know how that's exactly happened. Maybe when that's been trying to go on, it hasn't sat completely flush. The cat has come to say hi. But yeah, no, that's a bit fucked. I mean, I'm glad I found it, because otherwise that definitely would have been dead engine, which would not have been ideal. Does mean I can't actually get the engine back in time today, but I can at least get that off and get another one ordered, and hopefully it won't cause too much of a delay. But yeah, no, definitely not ideal.
I'm going to go add a look.
Ah, yeah, thanks. Yay, the list gets even longer. Okay, so this probably won't be the end of the video, but it's going to be a stop for, at least for now, of today. Made some decent progress. Obviously, as you saw, my timing belt was broken, so I'm definitely glad I went through that long-winded process of removing the crank gear and all that sort of stuff, even though I didn't really need to in the end. But yeah, belt's off. That should be a nice easy job once the new belt arrives. Harvey has done the door speakers, so we'll have a quick look at those.
So what I've been focusing on is trying to feed this wire through the original loom. However, due to the original loom, it's not the easiest to break into. What we've done is put some what's called spring fast on here, just to sort of reduce any noise and stuff in the outside world. Out here, it goes into the outside world, just like the normal.
Yeah.
And then from there, it goes into the car and tucks all the way up under the dash. All feeds nicely through the loom, out until the centre console.
Nice.
On both sides for the driver's side. So we've just got the rear speakers to do, and hopefully we should be all done with the speakers and we can start fitting this interior.
Yay. So list is here. As you can see, that's kind of like half ticked off. So front door speakers, if you want to tick off where it says wiring. Perfect. I did start making some brackets. Driver side one should be ready to bolt in. Passenger side one needs a hole cut in the middle for the actual speaker to go in. Then that can be ticked off, and that's one job off the list. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to tackle next, but I will see you shortly to do that. Right, day 2. Still working on the Nissan. As you saw yesterday, very, very long list of jobs to do. I don't really know what I should tackle today. I'm thinking maybe let's just get the headlight brackets fitted. So I'll take you over and show you what I mean. But basically, big pop-ups have a bracket that goes kind of from the top rad support bar down to the lower one, where I had to weld in a new kind of front plate for that, really, to support bar. Didn't drill the holes back in, so I'm gonna have to kind of roughly work out where they want to go and then drill some new holes and then nut and bolt them, which is going to be really fun. Normally they will just have a kind of a nut welded onto the inside, so I guess just figure it out and get that done, and then that's another job ticked off the list. Okay, so that's all done now. I'm probably going to cut out the bit where I struggled to get the nut on the bolt for about 10 minutes. So as I said, that would normally have a nut welded onto the onto the mount there. I had to unfortunately cut out that whole front section and weld in a new bit of sheet, so there's no nut welded on there anymore. So that's fine, it's done now. That's another job ticked off the list. That probably isn't completely straight, but I will kind of leave that slightly loose so that when I get the intercooler piping bolted on for the final time, I can then just nip that up and then it should be all good to go. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to focus on any of this, but basically I can now tick off front headlight bracket lower bolt because those have been drilled and fitted, so that is another job off the list. I think what I might do instead is I've got a lot of parts kind of all spread throughout the garage. I think I might kind of put them all into one box and then get up the kind of build guide almost, like the manual for this car, have a look at the engine diagram and then see what I'm missing from the engine and then just get all those random bits and pieces bolted on. So I guess I'd add that as another job. Okay, so it's been a little while since I said I was going to start kind of looking around the workshop for various engine parts. Got a little bit distracted, ended up cutting the grass. I have now started doing that, just a few random bits and pieces. So that's part of the cooling system. That is either going to be turbo, line or power steering, probably, but yeah, just a lot of shit everywhere, just not very helpful, completely my fault, but not very helpful. And then obviously these boxes and other shit and just, yeah, so I'm going to go on with trying to look through all of that and then I'll come back to you when I've got a box full of parts. Okay, so sorry this video is so like jumpy. Back again a couple of days later, once again still working on that thing. A few bits have now dried and then I've kind of started to assemble them where possible. I do annoyingly need to get the intake manifold back off the car. There's a few bits that kind of run underneath there and trying to see what I'm doing and get to them with that still being there, it's going to be difficult. And then bits like this actually need to be threaded into the block, so that's going to be a pain. I also do need the intake manifold off anyway because I'm putting a larger throttle body on there, so I need to port out the inlet, and also don't want all the metal shavings going into the engine. So let's get that off, and then once I've done that we can kind of start hopefully getting this stuff on and then making some progress on that massive list. Okay, so the intake manifold is off. Well, half of it is. I only actually need the other half off. This bit can stay. Just some pipes that kind of run behind here that I need to get to. So that's absolutely fine. Fairly easy, just 8 bolts. Yeah, let's get a diagram up and then I can actually see what needs to run where and start getting stuff plumbed up. Okay, so I'm trying to put this bit on, it goes into the block there, and hopefully doesn't fit with the starter motor and that part of the intake manifold on, so I'm going to have to remove both. Not going to bother showing you that, I'm just going to do... Okay, so intake manifold is off, starter motor is also off. It means I should now be able to install this. I'm sure anyone who's ever built a CA before is watching this thinking I'm an idiot and I definitely should have done this in a different order, and you would be right. However, I took this engine apart 4 years ago, and it's the only CA I've ever owned or worked on, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along, but we're definitely getting there. Okay, so that is now installed. I don't know how tight it's meant to be, so I just went tight and kind of hoped it didn't pull the threads out, and it doesn't seem to have, and it's in there, so I'm just going to leave it. I think it goes that way. I've had a look online and that's what other people have done, so hopefully that's good. There should be a coolant line now that flows from there to there, so hopefully in my pile of new coolant lines that are on this horrible seat should be one of these. Don't know which one, maybe this one, or I don't know, actually it might be this, yeah, maybe this one. No, it's definitely not that one. Wow, that was a really bad guess. Okay, so I'm gonna have to leave the video there. Apologies that it's been so disjointed and just kind of thrown together. Really short deadline to get this car done, so I've kind of been just doing any bits and pieces I can, and making a massive mess whilst doing that. To give you a quick update on where we are with all of this stuff. Fuel pump, I think I've sorted. We do need to make some small repairs to it because the wiring inside, basically the way it connects, it's all broken. Fuel injectors, I've ordered them, they are coming from America, so they're going to be here in a few weeks. Coil packs, also sorted, they will be here soon. Rear anti-roll bar brackets I've ordered, struggling to find front ones, so keep looking for those. The timing belt also been ordered, thermostat has been ordered, so I'm just going to keep cracking on with as many bits as I can. When you next see the car, it will be hopefully more complete. I won't bother doing another little bits video like this. I'll just kind of work through the week, and then next weekend I'll film another video, update you on all the bits I've done, and then we can do some of the bigger things like getting the timing belt back on and all that sort of stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.